Hello, fellow Bears fans. Welcome to my 2014 Bears video blog, Week 10, Bears at Packers post-game recap. And we needed the big win here to get us to 4-5 on the season. Instead, we just completely did not show up in any way, shape, or form in this game, and forced ourselves down to 3-6 on the season, basically making our playoff hopes slim to none now. And Slim's looking like it pretty much left the building because right now, it doesn't look, with Lions only having 2 losses, Packers only having 3, does not look like 10-6 is going to win this division. We would have to win out to be 10-6, and it doesn't. I don't even think 10-6 will win the division this year, especially considering the Packers don't have that tough of a schedule down the stretch. Their toughest game down the stretch is going to be New England. They might lose 1, maybe 2 more, and I think that's all you're going to see the Packers lose, which isn't even going to get them to 6 losses, and they would need to lose 4 anyway if we won out, because they have the tiebreaker on us, sweeping us in the division series, in the season series. So, like I said, doesn't look like 10-6 will win the division, and in the NFC this year, I don't even know if 10-6 will make the playoffs. But that being said, we would still have to win our last 7 games to even have a shot at 10-6. 9-7, I definitely don't see making the playoffs. So our playoff hopes pretty much dashed after this one. A lot of people, I can already hear it in the media. It's probably already going to start up. Everybody blaming Jay Cutler because he turned the ball over 3 times. Both interceptions he threw, I will put on Jay Cutler. The first one was tipped barely by Peppers, which might take a little bit of the power off of it and allow the safety to undercut it, but Cutler should have never thrown that ball. The second one he threw right off of Kyle Long's helmet, and it boinged up in the air and got picked off. The fumble, I'm not going to put on Cutler. Ola didn't even block the end. The men ran around Ola without even a thought, without even getting much of a touch on him. The sack, the fumble, those sack fumbles happen a lot, especially when you don't see him coming. But the 2 interceptions this week, I will say, were both Cutler's fault. Neither one of those balls should have been thrown in that situation. The one should have been thrown, the one off Kyle Long's helmet, but if that doesn't get tipped, he had the receiver open. He just needs to get it up a little bit so he doesn't throw it off Kyle Long's helmet. But the biggest disappointment in this game wasn't even the offense or anything. Yeah, the offense didn't get it going at all, but the defense just a pathetic display in this one. We got them on a 3rd and 11. That high percentage of the time, that's a force the team into punt. And we leave Jordy Nelson 30 yards wide open. Nobody even close to him within 30 yards for a 73-yard touchdown pass. You can't let that happen. Then we have him on a 2nd and 20, and we let him convert a screen pass to Eddie Lacy for a 60-yard touchdown. Once again, you can't let stuff like that happen when you have 2nd and long and 3rd and long on a team. It was just ridiculous to see the defense leaving people wide open, poor tackling, just all the above. The defense just did not show up at all today, and even the special teams had a ridiculous day as well. A block punt that you can't even call a block punt in the stat column because Boykin got through there so quick that O'Donnell didn't have a chance to punt the ball before Boykin's foot hit it after he was coming down from jumping. You can't let a guy get through there that quick, and the guy got no block on Boykin. He jumped up, kicked the ball before O'Donnell could even kick the ball, so it actually went down in the stat book as a fumble on O'Donnell. Just poor play all the way around in this game, and like I said, the defense is more to blame than anybody, but there's plenty of blame to go around in this game. Let's move on to some of the stats. First downs, they had 21, we had 21. 3rd down efficiency, we were only 3 for 12 on 3rd down. They were 6 of 13. Total plays, 68 for us, 64 for them. Total yards, 311 for us, 451 for them. Passing, 256 for us, 319 for them. Rushing, we only managed 55 yards rushing on a team that gives up 150 yards, the worst team in the league in the rush defense. And a lot of that blame I'm going to put on Mark Trestman. We ran the ball the first 2 plays of the game. got positive yards. We get a pass for a first down, then all of a sudden pass. Even after the Green Bay went down and scored their first touchdown, making it 7-0. That's nothing to get worried about and start deciding to pass. We come out that next series and just pass. Why weren't we running the ball more on a team that's that bad rush defense? I don't know. Penalties, we had 11 for 163. That hurts. They had 5 for 50. Once again, we lose the turnover battle 3-1. And that's another point of emphasis. Our defense in the last 3 games has only generated 1 takeaway and maybe forced 4 or 5 punts in 3 games. You got to get off the field one way or the other, whether it's punting, forcing them to punt or taking the ball away. And our defense has just not been able to get off the field. That's another big one. Time of possession, we had it 30-19 to their 29-41, but that's kind of a misleading stat. Is the only reason they had it for 29-41 is because all the times they scored, they were quick scores, not long drives. Look now at the individual numbers. Aaron Rodgers, 18-27 for 315, 6 touchdowns, no picks, 145.8 rating. Jay Cutler, 22-37, 1 touchdown, 2 picks, 68 rating. Running the ball, they had 8 carries from Harris for 52 yards, 14 carries for 50 yards for Lacey, 5 carries for 20 yards for Kuhn, 5 carries for 10 yards for Starks. We had Forte, 17 carries, 54 yards. Carey, 2 carries for 13 yards. Jeffrey, 1 carry for 8. Cutler, 2 for 0. Williams, 1 for -8. O'Donnell, 1 for -12, which was the fumble. I don't count that as a rush as much as was just bad play. Receiving, Jordy Nelson, 6 receptions, 152 yards. A lot of those yards came on 2 big plays. The 73-yard touchdown and then another long, it was like a 40 or 50-yard touchdown. Randall Cobb, 4 for 72. Eddie Lacy, 3 for 68. Corliss, 2 for 10. Adams, 1 for 10. Rogers, 2 for 6. Bostic, 1 for 1. Brandon Marshall, 8 receptions, 112 yards, and a touchdown in this one. He was pretty much our shining star in this game. Jeffrey, 6 receptions for 63 yards. Martellus Bennett, 2 for 45. Matt Forte, 3 for 27. Kadeem Carey, Santonio Holmes, and Josh Morgan, all 1 for 11 yards. Dante Rosario, 1 for 3. Defensive side of the ball, don't really want to talk about the defensive side of the ball. We did nothing. We got no sacks. Yeah, we had a lot of tackles, but that's because our offense was on the field the entire game. They had 4 sacks on Cutler. That's too many sacks to give up in a game. So, like I said, all around, just poor defensive play in this game. Poor play all the way around. There's plenty of blame to go around in this game on both offensive and defensive side of the ball and coaching. My honest opinion, just judging by what last year's defense looked like and judging what the defense has given up so far this year, not being able to force teams to punt, not taking the ball away, I honestly would like to see a defensive coordinator change in the offseason. I'd like to see Trestman just straight up fire Mel Tucker, get himself another defensive coordinator in there, because obviously Mel Tucker's not getting the job done. Mel Tucker had, there were some excuses, valid excuses last year where people could say it wasn't really Mel Tucker's fault. There was a lot of injuries. Granted, there's been injuries this year, but not near as bad as there was last year. And if you look at it all in all, we had a bunch of defensive players come back this week. Briggs came back, Bostic came back, Shane McClellan was back for his 2nd game in a row. So we had a lot of our starters back from the original starters of the season. There's no reason for us to give up 55 points in a game. No reason whatsoever. And it just doesn't need to happen. Like I said, just poor play all the way around in this game. Plenty to blame to go around. Next week we got the Vikings at Soldier Field, where we have not won a game yet this year at home. Need to get a win there. I emphasize we need to get a win. Like I said, the only way we get in the playoffs now is to win our final 7. Very tough thing to do in the NFL, and with 2 games yet to go against the Lions and 1 against the Cowboys, it's a very tough stretch to say that we're going to get 7 wins down the stretch. I just don't see it happening. I hope it does, because I'd like to see our team in the playoffs, but don't see it happening. So look next Friday evening for my post-game recap of this. Until then, go Bears, bear down.